I am so thrilled to be talking with two of my friends, Vicky Harp and Kayla Cinnamon, and they're building tools for me and hopefully for you. I am a developer and I develop on Windows, and now I switch back and forth between Windows and Ubuntu, and there are things that you are working on to make my development easier, so I'm selfishly very excited. Please tell me more about what you do and what you've been working on the past year.
So I'm Vicky, and Kayla and I both work on the Windows Developer Experiences team. So we work on the tools that are for people who are working on development activities on Windows. So it doesn't have to be that you're doing development for Windows, you're just on Windows doing development. So we have things like Terminal, Windows Subsystem for Linux, 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗸𝗏, DevHome, DevDrive, recently announced Sudo. We have a lot of PowerToys, a lot of fun things. And a lot of what we work on is open source, and it's just a really fun, exciting way to work with the development.
You get an extra dance from me when you say it's all open source. I'm so thrilled. And I'm also interested in, so you led with it, let's go there. How does open source kind of play into the way that you're building these tools?
Yeah, open source plays a huge role in how we decide which features to ship next. We actually sort our issues and our repositories by most thumbs up, and then that's how we get funding and then make those features. So it truly is like community driven, and we also work with people in the community to add those features into our products. And what's really cool is like Terminal and DevHome, they ship in Windows. So if you contribute to either of those, you're contributing to Windows, which is a really cool thing to like be able to say. So we've done a lot in the open, and I think it's just been really awesome that we are able to do that.
Cool. And so one of those tools is DevHome. I know I'm a super fan of WSL, and I was like, we had a little party when WSL 2 dropped. I was like, but I'm not super familiar with DevHome. Can you tell me more about that and what's new with it?
Yeah, you want to talk about it too?
Yeah, so DevHome is the one-stop shop for developers that ships in Windows. And it's meant to help you get set up, but also stay on top of your projects and then be able to jump into your environments really quickly. So we did add some new features. Do you want to talk about those?
Yeah, so we've, so you can think about DevHome as being just your quick access to all these things, some of which are old and some of which are new. So for example, now we have this new feature around dev environments where you can basically define the 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗸𝗏 DSCs. I don't know if you've heard about that. This is declarative state configuration where you can define this is everything that I want about my Windows setup. Well, now we have those definable as dev environment, so I can say, here's my WSL setup and I want to launch that into a new WSL, or here's my Windows setup and I want to make a new Azure DevBox or a new Hyper-V or a new Sandbox. And that's all definable and controllable within DevHome. And we also have PowerToys, which you mentioned. We've been taking some of the popular tools from that and moving them into DevHome so that they're now natively part of Windows instead of like something that you have to download separately. And we'll be seeing more of that. And then we've got a couple other things as well.
Yeah, one more feature that we've added is Windows customization. And the inspiration for it came from looking at all of these developer scripts we've seen online. And developers love to toggle their machine to be a very specific way. So we want, all of us, honestly. So having a UI for that is just something that we wanted to provide for developers that comes inbox. So it's something that we want to really work with the community because we're open source of like what other settings and features do you want to see here. And as well in that Windows customization page, there's a DevDrive Insights section. So we work on DevDrive too. DevDrive helps provide faster performance for developer scenarios. And DevDrive Insights lets you tailor that DevDrive so it's even more performant than just the base drive that you'll get.
Interesting. So to summarize, I'm seeing that like these different products that some of which we know and love, some we may not have touched into, are now going under this umbrella DevHome, so I can find it in DevHome. And then I also get to tweak in turn like I want to, all of these different customizations. And then 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗏 is one of the ways that you were usually able to install and download and things, and now it's under DevHome as well, along with Power Tools. And we also have DevDrive. Can you tell me more about DevDrive? That's another one that I'm not super familiar with.
So DevDrive is, are you familiar with the resilient file system, REFS?
No.
So it's getting off into kind of the weeds.
Yeah.
So normally a Windows system drive is NTFS, and then you may have run into this before where you have like something with a lot of files like Node.js packages, things like that.
Yes.
And it's slower, right, on NTFS than it would be on some other systems. And so REFS solves that problem. It's more performant for these high I/O situations. And it also has the ability to kind of set different Defender modes for Windows Defender. So you can have like asynchronous mode on Windows Defender. You can control some of the filter drivers. So what this really results in is if you have an I/O-bound like build situation, or like if you're doing a clone or a copy, it is dramatically faster. There was a great demo that Kayla did the other day where what did it go? It went from like 17 seconds to
Yeah,
point.
13 to 0.1.
Is that the one with
0.1
Scott Hanselman?
Actually, this was the one before that.
This is before that, yeah. So as Vicky was mentioning, DevDrive is intended to have faster performance, and we're also working to just make DevDrive faster itself. And we've added block cloning, which copies just metadata rather than bit by bit, which is what happens in C drive. So I copied like a 10 gigabit VHDX file on Tuesday, and it went from 13 seconds to 0.1 seconds. And it was instant because it's just metadata.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you can hear the cheering, like, mind blown. Oh, that's a really cool demo to bring out at Build for our developer conference. So that's really great. And so then you also had another one with Scott Hanselman. What was uncovered in that? What like blew minds in that one?
So I think
You've gotta go.
I think it was probably so. I did a demonstration of our new advanced paste power toy, which is basically adding AI into your paste. So I was able to show a demo of taking an XML file and copy it into the clipboard, and then I went paste as JSON, and it just did immediate conversion automatically. I did another one where I took a screenshot of Task Manager and I pasted it as a markdown table.
Yeah.
And then the third one was I copied the audio file, MP3 file of Scott's podcast, and then I pasted it as text on the transcript. So that's one of the new power toys we have, and it's just basically doing AI operations, and that is open source so that people can kind of get in there, look and see how we're using the models and actually contribute their own scenarios.
And it's open.
It's open.
I swear you could just have me like pay me, but I am not a great actress. I am genuinely mind blown. I'm gonna have to put that one in my backpack for Build because I didn't get a chance to see it. I was up here, but that's so cool. I'm really glad we were able to share that, and you've gotten some reactions to it. How are people reacting to it?
People are pretty excited about it. So I think people were like, "Oh my God," you know, afterwards. But I think in general, there's been a really good reaction to people coming and saying that this is the build where they're understanding how they can do AI. And that's really what we want, is like, we don't want people to be saying, let's go to Microsoft and ask you to do the AI for us. It's like, we're a platform, and we are building tools to help people to do the things that we can never think of. So one of the demos that Scott was doing was showing how he shows his blood sugar in the Windows terminal.
Yeah.
That is not a scenario that we would have thought of. That is a scenario he was able to build, and that sort of richness and fun to our environment and to our platform comes from that kind of interaction. And so with AI, I want it to not be a thing that people are hearing about on the news. I want it to be something that they see it and say, I think I can do that. And this is the build where I think we're getting to that point, and I think part of it is through some of the great content and the announcements, and I think some of it is just even just the ability to go and find projects that you're familiar with and see how it's being used and to see how it really connects to you.
That's really cool. And I mean, a through line through this has been the ability to customize, the fact that it's open, and the fact that there's this feedback loop of you and you all listening to the end users, Windows developers on Windows. That's really cool. And so there's a team who's building it. These tools have existed for a number of years. Who all is giving us these features? But who's building it?
Well, yeah, so we have a good mix. We have people who are in the Windows team, obviously, who are doing the team. We also work a lot with dev. So, for example, the environments work that we're doing in DevHome also works closely with Azure DevBox, and so we're working with that team. We have a lot of open source contributors who are regularly part of our syncs, and they help us with our issues and with triage and with contributing features. And we really do want to welcome our whole developer community to be part of our team in that way. And I don't have to have anything for that.
Yeah, no, I think you're exactly right. Yeah.
And you mentioned that they're part of your syncs. Are these the regular syncs, or is there another feedback loop that people are getting into?
So there's kind of a couple different mechanisms. So for one thing, we do reach out on Twitter, et cetera, like that. But we do have regular calls, like every Friday, where we're doing like kind of our customer panels, and we here's the list, you can join the list, and then we'll send out a thing and say, would you like to talk to us? And we'll get on and we'll show you, here, we're thinking about this, or here's our new idea, or help us prioritize or find scenarios around this. And everybody, all of our developers are welcome to join that.
Yeah, and I think we have the link for that.
Yes.
That one just showed up on screen, aka.ms/E4D chat. I'm excited about that.
And that's E4D is engineered for developers.
There you go. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you lock it in with the acronym. And then there was another one that was important. What could we find at aka.ms/ 𝗦𝗽𝗲 blog. I guess it makes sense. What's on the 𝗦𝗽𝗲 blog?
So we had a lot of feature releases for Build, and Pavan posted a blog post. So at that URL is where you can get all of the latest updates for everything that we've delivered for like DevHome, PowerToys,
Okay.
etc. Sudo for Windows, that's in there as well.
I'm so glad I got to talk to you all. This was like such a great interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.